Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Serious Strategy Game and welcome to the last episode of Taskmaster Season 1. Some other YouTubers and I are playing for the title of June 2021 Taskmaster Champion in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. So we've been going through a couple of tasks and of course we are going to go through one task this week. That is going to decide everything and I'm already going to tell you it's going to be a tight race. So let's look at what happened last week and then go into this week's tasks. Starting out with Stealth 17, he had a bit of a bad luck during the season, during the episodes before, and that does mean he was coming into the last task a little bit trailing in points, and that meant he was going in aggressively for bonus points that we could get, and he did build a battleship that went in to try to torpedo all other ships. So he built a ridiculous design with 96 torpedo tubes, trying to get in close, but unfortunately, as it happens, he was torpedoed himself. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but I at least counted 9 torpedo hits on him, even as he was sending his torpedoes onto the enemy battleship, which would have granted him at least 1 point. These torpedoes were running out within meters of the enemy battleship, and that meant that ultimately, unfortunately, Stealth did not score any points last week. Brother Monroe, on the other hand, he did build sort of a Nelson-like design with 2 quad turrets and 2 quad 16-inch turrets in a superfiring configurations, and he was fighting in very, very funnily, I have to say. He was also suffering 4 torpedo hits all at the same time, but he did manage to sink the enemy battleship pretty much in the same logical second as he was going down. So he did score a single point there, and well, came ahead in the episode. Myself, we were building probably the most conservative ship, I would say. We had 4 double 18-inch guns, and we had an excellent start to the run. We sank the enemy battleship with barely a scratch to our own ship. It was just a dream. We were coming out of that long-range, drawn-out gunnery duel, and we had something like 97% structural integrity remaining on our battleship. But then there was that one enemy destroyer which sent a couple of torpedoes our way, and that was actually our downfall. We misjudged that pretty badly, and we were struck and sank just like that. So it was also only a single point for us. Spartan Elite 43, he was doing the best last week. He was, as you would think, he had massive firepower. 4 quad turrets with 18-inch guns. That's a massive amount of firepower. That's almost twice as much as that of the Imperial Japanese ship Yamato. So ridiculous amount of firepower, can't be overstated. And he was doing a very interesting strategy where he was facing off against the smaller enemy ships first. So he didn't target the battleship, but he was targeting all of the heavy cruisers, light cruisers and all of that before actually going to the battleship. That meant he didn't have to worry so much about the torpedoes, which did serve him very well, but it does mean that he only started firing on the enemy battleship about 4 hours into his battle, and he was not really scoring any damage to the enemy battleship until around 6.5 hours into the run. So I think after 8 hours he finally came down to the enemy battleship, managed to sink that one, but with only 36 shells remaining out of his 1,600 shells that he was beginning the battle with. So nevertheless, he did manage to sink the battleship, he didn't manage to sink all other ships. He did unfortunately suffer a little bit too much damage because that enemy battleship was firing at him the entire time. So he came in at 2 points. Now where does that leave us for this week? It does mean that Stealth 17 is standing at 6 points. Brother Monroe is a little bit ahead of him with 9 points. Then Spartan Elite 43 with 10 points. And we, on this channel, stand at 11 points. So very tight race there. We are just 1 point ahead of Spartan and only 2 points ahead of Brother Monroe. So very tight race here. So let's talk about this week's task and what we've got in mind here. So we've got the following task. We can choose which nation we are going to play as. We're going to get 1940s light cruiser, and we are starting off against 10 Chinese destroyers, which are slightly ahead of, or slightly behind in technology, but we are starting at a distance of 3,000 meters, so that's basically knife fighting range, and that is gonna lend itself to a very funny task, I believe. The rules are as follows. We cannot use any torpedoes. We can only use a single 5-inch gun. We can pick as many 2-inch guns as we would like. And we're going to score 1 point if we can survive 20 minutes. We're going to score another point if we're not going to be hit by any torpedoes. We're going to score 1 point for sinking a single enemy destroyer. Another one if we can sink 5 of them. And the last of the 5 points that are available this time around if we can sink all of them. So that's going to be kind of fun. I don't think we want to be playing as the Spanish. We could go for British, French, German. I don't really care or know too much about that. United States, you know what? Let's pick the US. I do like that. Right, so we're going to design the ship here. I do believe that it's going to be a relatively straightforward design. Simply because there are so many restrictions. We don't have that much choice in terms of gunnery here. So let's just briefly go ahead and sort of set it up as you would. Remember, we can only use a single 5-inch gun. We're going to place that on that little thing here in the front. And that already is basically the ship that we are going to go with. It's slightly offset to the front, so we're going to probably move that to the rear here. Why is everything red? No, that's fine. Right, and then we can go ahead and deal with all of this stuff. I'm naturally going to pick the best stuff that we can. And I do think diesel is a little bit better than gear turbines these days. So I'm going to choose that. I'm going to use these shafts over here. Crop armor, of course, barbettes. Best bulkheads that we can. And of course, we're going to use a lot of them. We're going to use anti-flooding and citadel. We're going to use super heavy shells because we don't have that many. We are going to use increased ammo shells. And here's the big question. Do we want to use lyddite, which does give us high explosive shell damage, plus 35%? That's not too bad. Unfortunately, it's not that great at penetrating, and it does mean that we are suffering from flash fires by a much higher chance. I think we're actually going to pick high-level TNT. It's a little bit more costly, but it does give a hull weight reduction. It does give better shell penetration, which is not that important against enemy destroyers. They're lightly armored. And still relatively good high explosive shell damage, so that's fine. We're going to use electro-hydrical turrets so that they can swing about a little bit faster, and we're of course going to use auto-fire because we are going to be at knife fighting range with these guys. Speaking of, I don't think we need the long-range gunnery exercise, so we're going to use coincidental rangefinders. We are going to use Sonar 3 to spot these enemy torpedoes. I guess we can use Generation 2 radar because it's not too much in terms of weight. And then let's see what we can do in terms of armor here. I just want to use the sort of maximum that we can on all side armor, basically. That's fine. I don't think we need as much turret top armor because we're not going to be sucked into long-range duels here. So I think a very light top armament is okay as long as our sides are pretty well armored. So yeah, honestly, I think this is settling our design here. We don't need a radio. This is all fine. We don't need a long range, so we can go to very short here. We do need to check on the speed here, so I guess we can bring that up a little bit. 96% like that. Where was that? Around here? Yeah, 96% engine efficiency. That's sort of okay. That does leave us at 400 tons of secondary weight. We can of course use that with these secondary, with these 2-inch guns here. We're going to place them in the sort of positions that we have available to us. We're of course going to use them a little bit on the side here too. And I'm guessing we can use a lot of them to make sure that we're going to try to obliterate anything that is coming towards us. Right, 31 knots. We could of course increase the displacement of the ship entirely. Now, most of these guns here are firing to the side. We've got not so much in terms of front firing arrangements here. How about that? Okay, looks good to me. Forward offset is still a bit high. We probably need to pull back a little bit here with some of these things. I guess we can place another one over there. Yeah, we don't need that much more in terms of weight. Now, what I think we could do is what happens if we're placing these funnels here. Ship is of course already overweight, but we are over 100%. What if we increase the displacement here? How fast can we get? How fast can we get with this arrangement? 34 knots maybe? No, not quite. 33.5. Honestly, I like that idea. Yes, that does mean our ship is larger, and that means it's more likely to be hit by enemy torpedoes and any other shell, because we're just representing a much larger target. But all in all, I don't think I mind too much. We can't, unfortunately, place that many more guns on the design here. How about some single barrels? Can we place single barrels here? Somewhere over here, maybe? Not so much anywhere else. We could place some in the middle there, but I guess it's going to be fine. It does leave some weight that we could try to put into something. Now, we only have single bottom hulls, but I don't think we want to use better ones, because that will just reduce our efficiency here. So lots and lots of dual 2-inch guns that we have on the entire side of the ship here. Mostly facing, well, all the ways, I guess. Could place one over here. Let's do that. We still might want to take into account the forward offset here. I think we should try to pull back a little bit, potentially, with some of our stuff here. So let's remove that and take all of this here. Place it a little bit to the rear. No, we can't actually do that. Oh, that's unfortunate. Right. That doesn't mean we want to place you a little bit here to the rear. Let's see whether we can do that. Sometimes it's a little bit awkward to actually grab the secondary tower here. There we go. Come on. 2.4, 1.3. You know what? I think that's fine. Right, and then we're going to place some more second 2-inch guns like such. Ship is overweight by 6 tons. Really? Okay, who's got the worst firing angle here? Probably you. Yeah, that's alright. Okay, you know what? Let's hit the launch button here and see where we're going. And here we go. So, off against 10 destroyers. I can't really tell much of it with this. There's some stuff there on the rear, but really no idea. Whoa. Is this 3 kilometers? No. No, it's not 3 kilometers at all. I'm being stuffed into the middle here. Okay. Well, what have we got then in terms of the enemy destroyer? Okay, we've definitely got about 10 torpedo tubes there. And a triple forward-facing gun turret of what caliber? 5 inches. That's not good. That's pretty much, that's a lot more than we actually have. So, unfortunate. And you guys are all going to the right, which means we're going there too. You're probably going to launch torpedoes at us very soon. So, this is a very dangerous situation, actually. So, let's actually try to fire at you. We're going to use high explosives, and we're going to try to do an... Ooh, that's beautiful. Immediate left turn here, away from the enemy. Yeah, you can see already they are launching torpedoes. So some torpedoes being launched there and there. This is really a little bit ridiculous. Right. How can we survive 20 minutes if this is how we are starting over here? I'm hopeful that we can avoid... Well, we can definitely avoid this and that spread. Also probably this. This one is probably the most dangerous. This one over here is alright. And I'm noticing that we're not firing really here, which I don't know why that is, but we should be. Can we do, like, fire aggressively? Okay, this is incredibly tight here, but we are going to make it through. Jesus, this is tough. Right, anything else? Jesus, look at all of these torpedoes. This is torpedo water. And there's another launch from over there, which we're going to be well clear of, so that is going to be okay. Yeah, the trouble is they're all over the place, basically in all directions, so that is not great. Right, but I think we can accelerate it a little bit. Why are you not actually firing? Your guns are trained on that ship. Okay, now you are starting to fire there. Yeah, okay, that's good. Right, look at that spread though. So wide. Oh no, this is actually torpedoes going both ways, so yeah, guess it's okay. Right, that ship has launched her torpedoes already, but notice she's got a lot of reloads. Nevertheless, I do think we should try to come towards her. We're still not firing. Yeah, we need to be a little bit careful here with our turns. Otherwise, we're not going to actually be able to fire on the enemy. Let's start a fire on the Pingju, because I think she's off broadside. It's a bit more of a broadside situation here. Okay, we are starting to fire on her. That's good. Starting to score some hits here too, and that is definitely nice. Let's actually do turn on the volume here a little bit more. Right, there we go. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad for you either. Okay, we've scored some hits here. She is burning. Let's try to switch to Jiang Jiaping. Difficult to pronounce. But hopefully the Pingju is gonna burn itself up. Need to be slightly careful here with you. You've also got your guns trained on us. So that is a bit of an issue. You know what? You're so close. Let's actually switch targets here. Probably we're going to have some issues with a lot of our guns not facing the right way, but yeah, no, that's fine. Look at that. She is taking on a lot of water very quickly here. You've got standard bulkheads. Not the best, not the worst, but still interesting to see. Let's target you guys, and then we're going to try to roll up sort of these stranglers here, and hopefully going to be... So that's the first ship sunk. I think that's the first point then. Let's see whether we can score some more. Okay, she has launched torpedoes. We need to be very careful now. Yeah, we are swinging about here, but I really need to start firing on her though. Right, let's go like this. Come on, she's almost dead. Yeah, we need to avoid these torpedoes too. Flooding, 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 come on. She's flooding pretty badly now. Okay, yeah, that does mean she's gonna be gone soon. There we go, that's the second ship. Keep an eye for any and all torpedoes. Is actually your torpedo propulsion here? Oxygen. So, pretty good actually. I wasn't entirely sure whether they've got that. So that's 3 torpedo boats sunk, or destroyers sunk. Piju has actually managed to put out her fires, but I think we've restarted them now. So that's nice. I do want to keep going that way, sort of perpendicular, so that we've got all of our guns. Just look at how many hits we are scoring here. Nice. I think that's number 4 then. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's a lot of hits here, and we're still in very good position here. The big question is, are we going to see a lot of torpedoes in the water from them, or are we going to be all right? Right, come on. Rudder damage there, fire. Need to be very careful not to run into any torpedoes. Yeah, speaking about... That's okay. Yeah, oxygen torpedoes are difficult to spot actually. I guess we can go a little bit to the left here, come a little bit closer towards these guys, but be very alert for any torpedo that is coming up here. Right, I guess we can go for aggressive here. All of you guys are emitting smoke, so you're slightly harder to hit at this moment. But I think the hit chances here are relatively fine. I mean, how many ships, how many 2-inch shells have we got? We've got around 92 barrels, so not all of them are going to be trained in any direction though, so still, you can see it's just basically, almost reminds you a little bit of it's a drive-by machine gun shooting is what it is. It's just like super fast firing guns. Okay, let's hope that we're not going to be hit by any torpedo now, but just look at that. Bip, 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 bip. This is like machine gun fire. At this distance, it's probably not going to cause too much damage, but if we can start a lot of fires, I think we should be fine. Oh, that's good too. Destroy torpedo tubes. That probably means he can't fire all of them. He did just launch one salvo though, so they are in the water. That's why I'm turning now. Let's actually start maybe going to you for you. What's your situation here in Torps? You're right. Let's go in between here. I'm hoping that they have 2 launches. Doesn't mean that much if they're not showing as being ready to launch now, because as you can see here, they might very well have another launcher ready, and we're just able to avoid these torps there. Nice. Good. But the same does apply to the other ship here. We're actually going to switch fire because at this point she is the greater threat. Gonna level out here, but the guns are still kind of late to turn around. Oh, there's another torp. Yeah, we kind of knew that she was a great danger. I should make sure not to get too close, but this looks fine for now. At least very survivable. Okay, what if we run this way, sort of in between all of you guys? Come on, start firing. Start firing on her. Or actually, switch to her because she's a little bit more to the front here. That should be okay if we go slide immediately. Ooh, no. Look at these guys. This is difficult. There are a lot of torpedoes, and our 2-inch guns mean that we basically have to come in towards them, at which point they can fire these torpedoes and basically wreck us with a single hit. A single hit is going to mean that we're not going to lose, that we're not going to score that many more points here. We're actually going to lose a point straight out for being torped, and we would be otherwise impeded. We're down to 96% because we are in a very close range duel here. Even though they don't have great guns, they do certainly still have some guns. That being said, it's not that many more torpedoes here, is it? You are burning, which is lovely. Let's go slightly in that way so that we can use most of our guns. Also, don't want to get too close because these guys might still launch torpedoes here. We know that they can do that in some instances. Right, but look at that. Lots and lots of hits. Let's actually go switch fire to her. Yeah, she's taking on a lot of hits here in a very short time. That's just 21 hits. Flooding 25 hits. Stop. Where are you guys coming from? You must be coming from someone way over there. I think what we need to do is go in between these torpedoes. This is very risky because it means if she's going to launch any more torpedoes, we have no way to maneuver out of the way. But I don't think we can go either as far enough to the left or the right here to make sure that we would be doing anything else but passing through these guys. Right, that does mean you've just launched, yeah. You guys don't have any torps left, which means that you've launched sometime in the past. I think we're safe here, so I'm going to accelerate time a little bit more. And try to go for the Nanjping. It's mostly our 5-inch gun working on this one now, but now we should be seeing our secondary guns in action. Need to keep a very close eye here on her. And just make sure that we are seeing any torpedo launch that they would do. That guy over there is very far away at this point, which actually means that he might score a deck hit, which we would be ill prepared to receive. Okay, we are firing a lot here, but we're not really scoring any hits, is what I'm saying, as we are scoring some hits. But yeah, as we're getting closer, I think these hit chances should come high enough to hopefully do a little bit more against him. At least we are starting fires. He's not doing too badly though. For now. He's still got some torps. So maybe, just maybe. Damage to the torpedoes. That is nice, but it probably doesn't mean too much. Right, let's drive a little bit away from him because I don't want to risk anything. And also I think it will mean trading, being able to trade more guns on him. Engine damage, that's lovely to see. He's down to 60%. That is kind of nice. 50. And he's burning. Just like pretty much half of his compartments are burning. But in this game, sometimes you can recover from that. At least the AI can. Right, let's come a little bit closer towards him. I think he's not in a position to turn around quickly and send torpedoes our way. And it would probably mean that he's going to melt away. Yeah, just look at that. That is what I'm talking about. Very quickly destroyed over here. Right, one more ship that is over here. She's coming towards us. She doesn't have any torps left, but she might have launched them in this general direction. There we go. Nice 5-inch hit to start off here. With a lot of flooding that is causing. Let's try to get good broadsides here and keep an eye on this destroyer as she's making her way close to us. And she's facing a lot of tunes. Just look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's just machine gunning her all over the place. Just look at the number of hits here that is going on. Yeah, heavy flooding, and that is that. We've won! We've won! And that actually means we have all 5 points, doesn't it? I didn't see the time, but I think it must. Even if this wasn't 20 minutes, I'm pretty sure that counts as surviving for 20 minutes. So I'm going to claim that we have scored 5 points here, which does mean we should have won the entire season because we were coming in at 1 point ahead of everyone else. So even if they've done that, I'm pretty confident that we've won. And I'm just gonna gloat about that for a second here. Nevertheless, do check out everyone's videos, and I am hoping to see you guys for the next season, for the July season, and whether we can defend our title then. That being said, thanks for watching. Bye bye, guys.